So what is example, if you take 8051 IC, so this is a simple IC, how does it looks like? So there are different types of IC types. So few ICs will be in square shape, few will be in rectangular shape. Okay, but operation internally, everything will be same operation, right? For example, we take 8051, which is 40 pin IC. It has a 40 pin IC. It has one side it has 20 pins and another side it has another 20 pins. So inside this particular IC, we have n number of transistor circuits, right? Internal circuits. So that internal circuits we are segregating as some portions. Like for example, the combined of few transistors, we say it as accumulator, and we say as a B register, TMP, which is temporary register, TMP1, this is another temporary register. We have another block, ALU block, which is arithmetic and logic unit block. And then we have another register, PSW, program status word. Okay. And then we have the control block, which the whatever the operation does by microcontroller, which is taken care by timing and control unit. These special units which does all the operation. Like for example, if you are having certain command, that is move A comma B, then this control will take care moving a data from that is B to A. So these operations, everything is done by this particular timing and control circuit, okay, which is inside the IC. Okay. So inside the microcontroller, we previously discussed, we have a CPU. We have a CPU. What is this CPU? I told you, CPU is nothing but anybody can answer me. Inside the microcontroller, we have, I told you previously, we have CPU, one element, and then I told we'll be having a memory, and I told there will be some of peripherals. Okay, some of peripherals. So this is the main thing. What is this CPU? CPU has one more 3 element. What is that? CPU is nothing but
processing unit.
Yeah, processing unit. Processing unit. So this processing unit has 3 elements. So one is, anybody can tell me? Which
ALU, register control unit.
Yes, ALU and register and control unit. Okay, so here ALU, here this part ALU and registers come into the picture, like A, B, PSW, temporary registers, these and all will come into the picture. Okay, not only this, we have some more registers like DPTR, program counter. Here, here it is a program counter. So these are all registers, stack pointer registers, everything will come into the picture. Okay. Next, and next we will discuss about one thing we discussed and we highlighted that also. Next, I'm going to discuss about memory. Where is this memory? So here there are 2 memories. One is RAM and another one is ROM. So previously I told, so what is stored in the ROM? Anybody can tell me? I have simply given some hint also. That is, I mentioned I. What is for your understanding? I mentioned I. What is this I? Instructions, your application code. You are developing any application code, right? You are opening a Arduino software and you are developing application code. Everything will be loaded into this ROM. Okay, application coding is loaded into the ROM. This is programmable memory. Okay, read-only memory. Okay, your instructions are loaded in this ROM. coming to the RAM, the random access memory. So inside this RAM, we have here in this particular type of controller, we have banks. Banks is nothing but set of registers. Okay, we have 4 banks, bank 0 to bank 3. So each bank will has 8 registers. What is this registers? Registers is nothing but a storage component, you can say, which stores a byte. Okay, for example, I'm telling you. Okay, so now we discussed about RAM and ROM. Okay, it has banks. So along with that also we have some more general purpose registers here. And here we have some bit addressable registers. So everything it starts from 002 location 1F in the form of hexa. In hexa form, it will have this many locations. How many locations I have mentioned in hexa form? This location is nothing but 128 bytes. That is, RAM can store these many bytes. Okay, only these many bytes, which is a very small amount. Okay. And coming to we discuss about ROM. Next, we will discuss about some of registers, which is more common for the operation of any type of operation, that we will discuss. Coming to the first one, program counter. What is this program counter? This, what I'm discussing, this register is general inside the controller. See, any program which is there in the ROM, it will have certain, for example, I will place it, this is your ROM, you have set of instructions sequentially loaded from 00 to some maximum size of your ROM. This first instruction is loaded inside the controller. Okay, it will be loaded inside the controller, which will be taken care by this particular controller. The second instruction, for example, this is your second instruction. So this second instruction, it has certain address. For example, 01. So this, while executing the first instruction, it will load, this program counter will load second instruction address, that is 01. That is the main purpose of this particular register, which holds the address of the next instruction. Next instruction is 2. 2 is the second instruction, which it has address 01. That address is loaded into the program. This is another register which is inside the 8051. You must understand what is the operation of PC. This is another we will discuss, DPTR, data pointer register. This is particular register to hold the address. Okay, even this is program counter will hold the address. This holds the address. This holds the address of external memory. This is external memory, which is out of the IC. If you want to interface some external memory here with your IC, I want to access some data from external memory, you can pinpoint the address here. Which address I want to access from the data from the external memory. Okay. Now just better I will clear it so that. Okay. So, and then we have a, this is another register, stack pointer register. So here it will load the address. If any user wants to store some sequence of data inside the stack, stack is nothing but stack location. Where this stack is a temporary memory location for user. For us, example, I'm going to develop a program. I have a sequence of locations. I will be having a sequence of locations. This sequence of location is dedicated for the user. If I want to push some data inside this stack and I want to take this out after certain time, So I can use it this location for loading sequence of data. Where this stack is, which is inside the RAM, which is inside the RAM. Where is your RAM? RAM is here. So in which location we have this is in this particular controller in bank 1. Bank 1 is dedicated for stack. Okay. So this is some important points. Next, we will discuss about third point, which is peripherals. So peripherals is nothing but some of there are we say as a timer, serial communication peripherals. So we have different types of peripherals. So any type of serial communications, what do you mean by this? Means in which way this is going to help out for any type of applications? For example, for traffic light control, you want 1 minute time. If you see 30 seconds or 60 seconds, which is utilized in the traffic light control, right? So once green light goes for 30 minutes or 60 minutes, let me take 60 minutes, depends on the different traffic, it will have certain minutes. Then after that, you require certain delay. You require a delay. After LED is green light is glowing, you require 60 minutes of delay. So this delay process can be taken care by this timer. By programming timer, you can obtain this 60 minutes exactly, accurately. So let me go with another this thing, serial communication. So in serial communication, we have different types of serial communication. In 8051, you have UART type of communication. So you want to transfer a data at certain speed from one device to another device. For example, from the controller to another device or another microcontroller or another display units, right? So you can interface with certain baud rate speed. For example, in your example, I can say like you want to copy and paste the data into the pen drive. So the data which is transferred from one device to the pen drive, which will take certain baud rate, that is certain speed, bits per second. So that will be controlled by this particular serial communication. Right? So at the baud rate of 9,000 bits per second. So this can be achieved by serial type of communications. So in order to do that particular operations, we have number of registers, control registers. This is for serial communication control. This is for timer control, and these are some of registers utilized for timer. Okay. So these are all the registers, and here we have interrupt enable, interrupt priority. That is any interrupt. I want a certain operation is if your controller is doing certain operation, let us assume it is going on executing some instructions. Okay, 1, 2, 3 like that. If any interrupt occur, if suddenly user want some other thing to be done by the controller, so user can have some certain switch which is externally interfaced to the controller. If you press that switch, it will be interrupt to the controller so that the microcontroller will jump out to the some other location what exactly user is required. Example, I can tell you that you are playing a video, right, in mobile phone or whatever maybe. So what you are going, suddenly you are getting into some other applications, or suddenly a call is coming for you. That is an interrupt. Right? What will you do? Either interrupt can be acceptable or non-acceptable. It depends on the user. If you want to make a, if you want, you can pick the call or you can decline the call also. Right. This is simple architecture. So here I have mentioned another simplified block diagram. In examination, you can draw either that block diagram or this block diagram. It's your wish, but content should be something relevant to the 8051 microcontroller. See, what we are discussing is 8051, which is a 8-bit microcontroller. That is, which tells you that it does only 8-bit of data. 8-bit of data can be worked out. Like any computation can be done on only 8-bit data, not 16-bit data or 32-bit data. It will fetch 8-bit data. It will decode the 8-bit data. It will execute the 8-bit data. Right? So any doubt here in this part, students can ask me. So because everything is important, if at all you know the block diagram, next we can go to the addressing modes, which is another important thing for writing a program. So basic thing is this architecture. That's what I'm going a little bit and I want to explain so clearly.
Sir,
Yes.
what does it mean? It works only on 8-bit of data. 8-bit means?
So in ASCII notation, all the character will come into the picture as 8-bit. Okay. See, in PC, I have comma, right? Or colon, or I have the character like Y, Z, A, B, C, whatever may be, number, characters, special characters, everything will have some unique 8-bit data. You know that?
Yes.
Yes. So that particular 8-bit data. One second. So that particular, whatever you place as a core, even in the memory, that will be each and every character will be in 8-bit. So that 8-bit data will be fetched and decoded and executed. For example, if you have an instruction, as I told you, so move A comma B. So B is a register which holds 8-bit data. Okay. So in B, for example, inside the B, I have a numeric value, some value which you want to move to the A register. Simple operation. For example, I just place it the 9. 9 is the numeric value at which I want to move it to A. So in memory, this will have certain 8-bit data.
ಅಂಕಲ್ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಕೊಡು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು. ರಾಜು ಅಂಕಲ್ ದುಡ್ಡು ಕೊಟ್ಟ ಅಷ್ಟೇ.
So everything here, this mnemonics will have also 8-bit. So controller will understand. So it will have different 8-bit data. This will have different 8-bit data, different. It will understand, for our understanding, it is move A comma B. Everything will be loaded in the ASCII form that they will understand that the 9 value should move to the A. That we will come into the more clearance. Okay, once we get into assembly language and writing code, I will explain a little bit clearly. Okay, so now as
it's not necessary to learn the previous diagram.
yes, I'm not clear. Once again,
It's
yeah,
not necessary to learn the previous diagram, the one that you showed before this.
yeah, both, whichever you want, you can draw it. I have mentioned
Okay.
two. In some of the book, it is mentioned that architecture. In some of the book, it is mentioned this architecture. It is not necessary you should draw both. No, any one you can draw. And more specific is you should explain this portion which is there in the architecture, because in the architecture we have seen it has RAM. The size of the RAM inside the 8051 is 128 bytes. You must know. And then on-chip ROM is there. So it has the size of 4K. So you can store your application codes up to 4K. which has a capacity. You are writing a code, right? You will be writing number of code. It is not like just like that you can write the code enough number of codes. No, it will accept only 4K bytes of thing. Otherwise, you have to go for some external EROM, sorry, external ROM. Okay. And this particular 8051 has two timers, that is timer 0 and timer 1. So both are for delay applications. Even I have told you in traffic light control, certain delay is required. For that delay, we can use it this timer. And we have serial communications. So from device to device data transmission, the data is transferred at certain baud rate, certain speed. So for that, we can use a serial port. So here it is serial port. Through this TXD, you will be transmitting a data outside. Even if your controller requires certain data serially inside from the other device, you can receive here. Okay. So like this. And we have general input output ports. So here it is a general input output ports. These ports used to send data parallelly, or for example, if you place some LEDs parallelly, 8 LEDs, you can blink that particular LEDs for indications, or you can place it buffer, or if you want to use only one bit, only one LED, so you can use any one port pin. Inside that port pin, you can use only one pin. Okay, each port pin has eight lines. Okay, that we will discuss in pin diagram. So as of now, you understand that it has 4 input output ports. 4 input output, port 0, port 1, port 2, port 3, port 4. Sorry, port 3. Okay. It has 8 interrupt sources. So that is interrupt in pin diagram. It will be there. We have RST 0 like that it has. So interrupt sources is nothing but initially you will be writing a coding sequentially inside the ROM. Interrupt is nothing but sudden interrupt to the your executing your present program. It will stop present program and it will execute this whatever the interrupt request. Suddenly, for example, you have port 0 pin to be port 0 LEDs to be glowed sequentially. If interrupt comes, I want port 1 pins to be executed. So that operation will be done. Okay, that is the exact principle behind interrupt. Okay. So coming to here, register R0 to R7. So as I told you, inside the RAM, we have 4 banks, right? Okay. So 4 bank is both bank 0, bank 1, bank 2, and bank 3. So the location starts from 00 to 1F. So all the register inside the blank, it has uniform name. So if I use R6, so before that, in your program, you should select which bank. How this bank is selected. Next, that I will discuss in PSW register. Okay, that is at the end I will discuss that. Okay, now you understand there inside the RAM we have 4 bank 0 to bank 3. Okay, next. The A register which is there, which is the general purpose register, which is mainly used in any arithmetic and logic operation. Any arithmetic and logic operation, this A register will load the result. After adding 2 numbers, automatically your answer will be loaded in accumulator. Okay. But B register where we use in general purpose also. Any arithmetic, any multiplication division, this particular B register is used to store the data. Okay. Because if you multiply 2 8-bit number, the output is 16-bit number. So one of the 16-bit, one of the 8-bit of 16-bit is loaded into B register, and another 8-bit is loaded in accumulator. Okay. So already I discussed what is stack pointer register, which the value stored in the stack pointer register points to the address. Which address? Stack address. Okay. And then the DPTR register, I told you, to access the external memory. To access the external memory, the address which is stored in DPTR, which points to the address, that particular address of external memory. From there, you can extract the data. And program counter, I told, this also stores the address, 16-bit address, okay, which holds the address of the next instruction to be fetched. Even for this, I have given the example also. While executing the present instruction, this program counter will hold the address of the next instruction. That is the next instruction which is going to be executed by the controller. So this is some of, if they ask you in 10 mark, probably you must write down all these. And this one, these are all the special function register. A register, B register, DPTR register. These are all the peripheral register, port 0 to 1, PCON, PS, SP, everything is peripheral registers. That's why we say it as special purpose register, special purpose register, or special function register. Okay. And this register with the specific name and the corresponding location inside the 8051. Okay, each register has special address. Okay, coming to the program status word. This is one of the register PSW, which is there in the architecture. If you want, I will get back to the architecture also. Where is this PSW? Here it is PSW. What is the main purpose of this PSW? Any operation does by ALU, this will store the status. Status, it will store the status. What is the status? If you add two numbers, there is a possibility of carry. Right. So if you add two numbers, there is a possibility of your result can be 0 or any different controllers have different types of structure. So here it has a 8-bit. So they have mentioned CY, AC, F0, RS1, RS2, overflow flag and parity flag. This is each bit. So it is 8-bit. So it has 8-bit. You can see, right? Right. Okay. Coming to the point. If 8051 adds any two number, if any carry is existing, for example, I'm adding these two values. This is bit, let us assume bit 6. This is bit 7, bit 0. Let us assume some value. I'm adding these two number. What happens? I'm adding some value we're getting. Okay. So if I add these two bit, I'll be getting 0 and 1 will be jumped out. Carry. So this one is the carry, which is jumping from bit 7 to bit 8. That is out of thing. So this is the carry. Auxiliary carry is between bit 3 to, that is, we have 4 bit right here. From bit 3 to bit 4, that is the auxiliary carry. This is for general purpose for user. And I told you, right, for bank selection, this is the bit. If I want to select bank 0, we have to place it 0, 0. So here in this particular register, you have to place 0, 0 here for bank 0. In default, this will be the value. So always if you bank 0 is selected in default. So if you mention without any bank selection as R6, then probably in bank 0, it will take R6 value in your instruction. So for bank 1, you can go with this value, bank 2, bank 3, if you want to select. Next, coming to overflow. So overflow is used in arithmetic operation, that is signed arithmetic operation, because in signed arithmetic, the 8th bit is signed, that is bit 0 to the 8-bit is B7. If you do any arithmetic operation, the bit 7 will hold the sign value, that is 1. For example, if it is a 1, for example, I add these two values in bit 6, which is bit 6. 0, here the 1 will be carried out. Now this bit 1, which holds a 1, which is negative value, which is negative. This is signed arithmetic operation. For signed arithmetic operation, this flag will be considering